Let's move on to the Mississippi State Bulldogs, the Fighting Brandon Walkers from Barstool Sports. We are entering year 3 of the Jeff Lebby era. I think it's fair to say that they showed considerable improvement in year 2 of the Jeff Lebby era. They went from 2-10 in year 1 to 5-8 last year. Started the year off 4-0 and then lost an overtime game at home to Tennessee, 41-34. And that kind of started looks like a 4-game skid for them. They ended up beating Arkansas in about week 9, week 10 for their last win of the year. So they ended the regular season at 5-7. They still got to a bowl game, it looks like, and lost to Wake Forest in that bowl game, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. But look, Mississippi State is a program. If you go down all the way to the bottom of the Nard Dog Sports Instagram page, one of the videos I put out last year when I first started doing these picks was Mississippi State hosting Arizona State, and I talked about how I liked the Mississippi State team last year. In Arizona State was coming off a playoff appearance, and people were high on Levitt and Tyson and Dillingham. And I said, I think Mississippi State's going to win this game. I like them plus the points at home. It was a night game week 2, and they did it. And that was part of that 4-0 start. This year, obviously, a little bit different. They have some returning pieces that I think are important to them. They've got Fluff Bothwell, who I just love saying that name. He's their running back. He's a stud. But Starkville, Mississippi, they just don't have the same kind of top end talent that some of their peers in the SEC have. Ryan, I'll come to you. Hard not to respect a program like Mississippi State who finds ways to be competitive in a tough conference like this, but not a ton to be excited about in terms of potential Cinderella run in this conference this year. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think there's very little to be excited about overall. I mean, KaMario Taylor is a fun player, so I guess that would be your bright spot if you're looking for one. But Jeff Lebby just really doesn't excite me much. I feel like they were worse at the end of last season than they were at the beginning of last season. And I'd be lying to you if I said I really kept up with the injuries and how their season really played out. But I know it wasn't very competitive, a lot of the games. And I think he's kind of the perfect kind of representation of Mississippi State as a head coach. Just not a whole lot to get excited about. That's just kind of how I feel like I always feel about Mississippi State. And that's exactly how I feel about Jeff Lebby right now. I don't think there's a coach in the SEC I wouldn't take ahead of him.
Interesting. Okay. Max, what do you got on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State?
Yeah, listen, more cowbell. I love it. I love that that's a thing. But it feels like Mississippi State to me is caught in a time loop. I look at their last couple quarterbacks. Nick Fitzgerald, Will Rogers. Like, they're all the same fucking person. It's this beefy quarterback who looks a little bit more muscular than probably should, who's inaccurate with the passes, but runs for a shitload of yards, likes to bulldoze people. We've done the same thing with KaMario Taylor. Like, now Jeff Lebby, great. It's not a conventional pocket passer. Fits the offense better. He showed some flashes. He had like 5 touchdowns, 1 interception passing, almost 500 yards rushing and 8 rushing TDs last season. It's just a time loop down in Starkville. We get the same guy behind center. We get the same results. They never seem to get it done. They'll probably give somebody a scare. I just look at Mississippi State and I think to myself, Jeff Lebby, he's just it's unfortunate. He's caught in this time loop. There's nothing really he can do about it. This team's going to underperform once again. He's going to hear cowbells in his sleep for the rest of his life. And realistically, he's going to have to find a new job at the end of the season because it just hasn't worked out there. To your point, Nard, Fluff Bothwell, God, I hope that guy has an incredible season. I don't know that he will, but if your name's Fluff, that's fantastic. I go back to Jim Furyk's old caddy. His name was Fluff, had a beard, smoked cigarettes. Iconic. I'll never forget that. Hopefully it's the same case for Fluff Bothwell. But we'll see. I think Mississippi State, it's the same old, honestly. And when I look at their roster, One thing that stands out is Jaden Rashada. Can we talk about this cat for a second? I mean, he's like a freaking $10 hooker. He's been to like 8 different programs, had to file a lawsuit against Florida because he didn't get paid for his services that he never even did. It's like he literally is just a hooker. I don't understand. Miami was the original commitment. Thank God he didn't go there. I mean, that would have been devastating. We offered the guy the sun and the moon and the stars on top of it. And he was like, no, I'm going to go to Florida because they offered me $13 million verbally. And ultimately, he didn't get that money. Well, guess what, buddy? You need things on paper these days. So, how's that going to work in this scenario? Is this guy just coming in to polish footballs, or is he going to create some turmoil in the locker room? I don't know. Nothing excites me about Mississippi State. Sorry, Brandon Walker. It's the same shit every year. Just move on.
And I do want to say I liked Jeff Lebby's personality on that Netflix SEC show. I think I actually got caught rooting for him. I might have bet on them a few times in the middle of last year when they were just getting throttled by everyone. And I got real sour on them and became a real sore sport.
Yep.
Netflix will do that to you.
I'm neutral on Lebby. I think he's a pretty good offensive coach. I think he might be a better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach, someone to lead the program. But, like I said, let's give him a shot here in year 3. Let's see what they do. They're not completely devoid of talent like in Arkansas. They're SEC level talent. They were competitive in some real SEC games last year. Should have beat Texas at home. Could have beat Tennessee at home. They got hammered too by some teams like Georgia, like Missouri. But I think one of the more interesting things about this Mississippi State team is they're one of the teams that has a Big Ten out of conference game on the schedule. And Phil Steele, he's got Mississippi State as the 14th best team in the SEC. He's got Minnesota as the 9th best team in the Big Ten. Mississippi State goes to Minneapolis to play Minnesota in week 2. But that's a game where it's like, okay, SEC, like if your bottom is like much better, then this is a game that Mississippi State should probably win, right? Like prove that the bottom beats kind of that bottom of the middle tier in the Big Ten, right? We'll see if it happens. But those are the type of games, like we know Ohio State, Texas, like that's a clash of Big Ten SEC at the very top, right? But like we got Mississippi State and Minnesota. We've got Ole Miss and Louisville. We've got some games like with SEC teams kind of against similar tiered teams in other conferences. Let's see how they do.